So morning guys, welcome to Born Traveller and welcome to Chennai. First impressions of Chennai, it's very similar to Kolkata. People from Kolkata said it was busier, but I don't know, it doesn't feel it. It feels about the same really. So today we're not going to mess about, we're going to go and see the George Fort. It was a fort built by the British East India Company in I think it was the year 1632, but I might be wrong with that, somewhere around that time. But yeah, so that's what we're going to see today. So I thought I'd take the opportunity while I'm seeing the fort to start explaining some of the British history of colonialism in India. What happened, who's involved, you know, that kind of thing. And so yeah, so that should be quite interesting. I'm going to try and get there by the metro. I'm stopping in the Triple Cane High Road area, and there's a metro station right near, but I'm not sure I can get exactly to the fort from there. I'd be quite surprised if I can't, but I don't know. So let's go and have a find out. If not, we'll have to get a tuk-tuk. So guys, this is the map of the metro. It's quite extensive. I thought it wasn't that much. I thought it was only one line. It's actually two. So you can get quite a long way. You can get to Egmore, which obviously is quite.
Select the station.
Which is quite handy.
Please select the area or price.
So I'm here at Government Estate. I'm trying to. I think I've got to go up here somewhere near the High Court. I need to do some research. I'm going to have to ask somebody. So I've just spoke to somebody, and there's no quick way of getting onto the metro from Triple Cane area to the St George's Fort. It's better just take an auto. What it is good for actually is getting to the airport. So if you arrive in to and from the airport, you can get to Egmore or Triple Cane area. Just look for Government Estate stop. That's what you're looking for, the Government Estate stop, and that will get you near some really cheap hotels. Yeah, so that's what really this metro is handy for. I don't know the prices because I didn't actually use it myself, and I won't be going to the airport. So just thought I'd show you it, guys. It seems pretty new. It is fully open though, and it is fully working. So I'm sorry about the noise. I can't do much about that. It won't shut up. What seems quite strange is that nobody seems to be using this metro. I don't understand it. Like ones in Kolkata and Delhi are actually packed. This one's completely dead, so it's either expensive or it's just not convenient. I don't know. I get the feeling they've built a railway system, metro system that's just not handy for the locals. It's completely empty. That just doesn't make sense, especially in Chennai. Just arrived in the fort, so it's kind of in the government estate, so you have to kind of go through quite security. Yeah, they don't have to pay, but there's quite secure security. There is a museum here which I'm going to go to. So basically you've got the fort and the fort. So the fort, actually, this is it. This is the actual fort. So it's actually still used. I didn't know that. It's actually still used. So there's all different kind of buildings, but there's actually the museum to come to. So you have to understand it's within a military base or a government building. So there's quite a lot of security here. So just, you know, don't bring anything that's going to set the alarms off. Just been around the Fort Museum. I decided again not to pay for it because it's like a ridiculous price, 300 or 400 rupees for a blooming camera. It's just ridiculous. However, the museum is really nice inside, really worth doing. So in terms of cost, it's 300 rupees to get in as a foreigner, or 25 if you're Indian. So lucky you Indians. Yeah, that's quite a discount, isn't it? I tried to pretend I was Indian, but he wasn't having none of it. Okay, I'm going to give some history of the British in India. Okay, so before the British got here, there was the Dutch East India Company. Okay, and they operated and basically they traded with India and they made quite a lot of money. So the British, quite jealous of this, decided they wanted to do the same thing. And in 1600, Queen Elizabeth I, the first one, not second, the first one, authorised a company an expedition, a company, and funding to go to east of India and set up a trading company in India. They arrived in Surat firstly in about 1612, I do believe, and they started trading. Initially it didn't go that well, but eventually they started to make some gains. Obviously their biggest rival was the Dutch, and basically what they were doing is they were bringing goods from England and goods from China and then trading and selling them in exchange for like goods from India, such as spices, sugar, and materials, like clothes, basically, cloth. And here in Chennai, mainly it was cloth. They set up with about 400 textile workers here around Chennai and started trading with them. So the fort was set up by the British East India Company as a base, really. It was set up in 1644, and basically it started off quite small and then it got bigger and bigger. It was expanded right throughout the ages, and it was very important for the East India Company. So the East India Company started around 1600, and they traded for about 200 years as a company, and eventually in the 1800s, about 1810, 1820, they got so big that eventually it was the British government realised they were becoming too powerful, and basically the British government took over the company and it became British India eventually. So eventually it was five people involved key people involved in this, and then eventually the British government, the British Empire, that's what started kind of the British Empire. Was one of the things was with establishing British India, that basically we ruled India. And that lasted for about 150 years. So although this wasn't the first place that the British landed, it was probably one of the most important, and that's why I thought to do some history about the British India Company. It's very, very complicated, the history. There's just way too many things to explain in one go, but basically there was a lot of wars, quite a lot of wars, to be honest. The French took this a couple of times in the 1700s, captured it and then lost it, so there's quite a very varied history. Also it was attacked by the local Indian Mongol, I do believe. I might pronounce that wrong, but yeah, very, very complicated history, and probably too much for me to explain in a video, but I hope that gives you an insight into the British rule in India. I'm going to go to look at the first church that was set up by the British, called St Mary's Church here. It's actually within the fort, so let's go and have a look at that now. Just here, all these things here, these are all graves. Amazing. Yeah. Can you see? Look, it says here, probably can't see it very well, but it says the body of Edward Brooks, who died or departed this life in November 19 at the age of 54 in 1722. So these are graves, like a bit weird, people walking on them. So the whole of the outside of the building is just graves. Lots and lots of graves. It's quite extraordinary, I've never seen that before. Weirdly, that is the first time, probably ever, I've ever been in a church on Christmas Day. I'm not Christian, so but yeah, that's the first time ever I've been in a church on Christmas Day. So what I will say about this place, don't come here expecting it to be like the Taj Mahal, where it's just for tourists. It's not. This is a working military base, okay? So some of the buildings are actually still used. Some of them are just abandoned. The actual main fort, it just seems like it's been closed off. So this is the beach. The sand is really hot. It's burning my blooming, it's burning my sandals. Yeah. It did say that in the planning, actually, don't come down here in the daytime, which I've ignored, and I kind of understand why I said that, because it is bloody hot, the sand. Yeah, bloody hell, I feel it burning. This beach is huge. From here to there, I bet it's half a kilometre. So right in the distance there's some docks there, definitely docks, and that way I think it's just part of the city, but there's definitely a lot of pollution haze in the distance. It's yeah, it's quite bad. It's not so bad here, but over there and over there it's quite bad. You can see the pollution levels aren't too bad here. I won't say they're great, but they're not that bad. I mean, compared to what Delhi is at the moment, yeah, it's not too bad. So one thing to say is don't try and swim in the ocean here. I've been told swimming is really dangerous. And it actually says 35 people have drowned in this area so far. So, well, that's not a big number, but yeah. It also says that there's turtles arriving on this beach, which that's quite surprising. If that's true, then I'm surprised this hasn't been designated a protected zone, to be honest. But I don't know. I'd be surprised if turtles arrive here with all these humans around. You never know, though.